Quell hired an actual team. And I don't just mean, like, having, like, herself and, like, another, like, co-owner. I mean, like, an actual genuine team. Like, you know, like, managers and, like, you know, like, background artists, tune developers, stuff like that. Something else that would be pretty nice would be Quell hiring, like, you know, like a, like, interactions maker, coder, stuff like that. Another really good thing would be the main thing, co-owners that aren't pedophile. I mean, co-owners that don't just work on the game. Not only do they not work on the game, but they actually co-own. Oh, I'm not to mention the fact that if there was an actual team, updates would come out so much faster. Oh, and chat, another thing. Let's just take a moment to realize that, but yeah, it's basically all I wanted to rant about, the fact that Quell needs to get an actual team. And not to mention that, but the game would actually probably be a lot more fun if updates came out more often. Because without constant updates, and, like, you know, like, even if it's just little tiny tweaks, the game really isn't as fun without updates. Because without updates, the game kind of loses its interest, and it gets pretty boring fast. Like, for example, if you get all the tunes, get all their mastery, get all the trinkets, blah blah blah, you don't really have anything else to do once you finish that. Like, you don't have a special after quest, or you don't get a special thing after. You kind of just wait till the next update drops. And another thing, that can take, like, general time, because, again, Quell doesn't have an actual team. Oh, and obviously I'm not saying that Quell needs to be coming out with updates left and right, like, update, wait a couple days, update, like, I'm not saying that, like, maybe, like, every few months or so. That would at least be pretty nice. And, of course, I'm not trying to judge Quell. Quell is an amazing person, especially for firing Rock. Especially when it comes to making Dandy's World. And obviously, I'm not trying to say that Quell is a bad person, because obviously she isn't. But another big thing is, and this is not my original idea, but you can't really defend Quell and say that she doesn't have the money. She definitely does, because of Dandy's World. Oh my god. Dandy's World's just genuine and just extremely impressive success, and the fact that she actually has a co-owner definitely can't mean that she doesn't have the money. Because if she didn't have the money, we wouldn't exactly have Dandy's World in the first place. So, you know. And another thing, why in the world do people pro-ship? I mean, I don't have any disrespect for any ships, okay? Like, for example, Rage Bait, I ship myself, or Angry Hugs, I'm fine with that. Or like, let's say, I don't know, I don't know, Spirit Circus, for example, Louis X Connie, I'm fine with that. But there's a certain line between ship and pro-ship. For example, and trigger warning, zoophilia. And for those of you who don't know what zoophilia means, it means, NSFW with animals. That's all I'm gonna say. Really just meaning coal or pebble. Now, obviously, I'm fine with people shipping coal x pebble or cobblestone. Like, obviously, that's fine. But when it's with any other tune than each other, it gets bad. Like, bad. Like, for example, coal x Bobette. Ew. That's called a pro ship. Now, pro ships can also contain children, aka, stay with me, toodles. Now, obviously, there's also things like jokes. Like, for example, Pebble X Bone. That's a joke, that's fine. But Pebble X Dandy, that's just... ugh. And that, dear viewer, is what we call a pro ship. Now, another thing, like Toodles X, I don't know, Toodles X the 8-ball liquid. Obviously, that's a joke. That's fine. Now, there's another thing that goes to a certain extent. Toodles X the dog plush. Now, obviously, it can be a joke, but it also can possibly not be a joke. You know, like actually shipping Toodles and the dog plush. Now, obviously, I wouldn't ship any crap like that. Like, that's just weird and gross and a whole another level of just straight up bad. But obviously, most people like see it as a joke, like, you know, like Pebble X Bone or Toodles X Dog Bone. I mean, oh my god, Toodles X Dog Plush, like I said. But here's where it gets bad. Toodles X Roger. Now, obviously, Roger is not canonically Toodles' dad. Very obviously. Yeah, but the thing is, some people still ship it. You know. It's just, or Toodles X any character for that matter. Especially Toodles X Pebble. Oh dear God, Toodles X Pebble. It's just a whole other level of disgusting, and I hate it so freaking much. But fact is, it exists. Now, Dandy's World is definitely... What I was saying was, Dandy's World is definitely mostly getting ripped apart by the fandom. Now, obviously... No, okay, another trigger warning. Rule 34. It's gonna happen. Duh. Like, if it... Look, if you know the slogan, you know the slogan. I'm not saying... If you know the slogan, you know the slogan. Anyways, back to the fandom. It's just a whole other level of weird and gross and Now, another thing is toxic players. They make it even worse. Oh my goodness, they make it worse. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be dissing on extracting distractors. I myself was a extractor Louie. Another thing to note is that certain tunes don't have to be limited to extracting or limited to distracting. Like that's not how that works. Like, just because you want a Pebble to distract doesn't mean they're gonna distract. Now, when you get Pebble, you can distract as Pebble all you want. But until then, you can't control what people do with their life. Or tunes, anyway. With their tunes. I don't know why I said life. But anyways, you can't control what other people do, and that's just that. Like, that's not gonna change. You can't just magically make people do whatever you want. Like, that's not how that works. But anyways, back to toxic players. They're just a whole other thing, okay? Now, they make the game a lot worse because whether it's them swearing, saying people stole heals, even when there's a healer, even though they didn't, and just being mean overall, like laughing at someone for dying, getting extremely mad whenever someone doesn't do what they want, etc. But anyways, that's mostly all I wanted to talk about in this video. I just wanted to cover all the topics I could think about that are honestly just bad in Dandy's World and just so on. But I just wanted to kind of talk about any of the stuff I could really think of that was affecting the Dandy's World community and just the game as a whole. Please, please, please do not hate on Quell or Dandy's World or the fandom. It doesn't matter. Don't hate on anything just because I said it's bad. Just because I'm saying it's bad doesn't mean it really is bad. Now, look, you can't stop people from doing what they're doing, okay? Like you can't just say, hey, Quail, you need to get an actual an actual, team on the creation of Dandy's World. She's not gonna immediately be like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that sooner, and just get a team. No, like that's not to mention it takes time to get a genuine team working on a game. So even if Quell did want to get a team, it's not gonna happen immediately. In fact, she might not even have anyone on the team other than the co-owner for a while. And I mean, at least a couple months. Because, one, they'd have to apply, and they'd have to, get an actual job, and all that. But that's really all I wanted to talk about in today's video. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Now, hopefully it won't be covering such serious topics, but I'll see you guys in the next video.